Hey YouTube, Spencer here with the Mind Alliance. I hope you had a great Christmas. Today's video, I have 10 universal psychology principles that you can start to apply to improve your life today. First is potential for change, and whether that's neuroplasticity, or building new habits, or reconstructing your own personal narrative, every individual has that innate capacity to make changes in their life. And not only that, but change is not just possible, but it's really quite a constant from even from a evolutionary or a developmental perspective. It's a constant within our human experience, and so taking advantage of that transformation for the betterment of your life as opposed to the detriment of your life is that's just it sets the foundation for the rest of these insights and principles. So speaking of that, number two is insight and self-awareness. And so becoming more self-aware means simply kind of learning and being more present in the moment and being more cognizant of how your thoughts and emotions influence your behaviors and how your behaviors influence others and how others influence our culture and how our culture creates these systems and how those systems turn back and influence us. Uh, Self growth and improving your life starts with having that self awareness, and it's really a skill that takes practice and development and putting it to use to cultivate. Number three, we have past and present connection, and so our experience, our experiential history informs our psychological present, and so really what that means is we carry with us tons of these core beliefs, these schemes, these maps of these ways of relating to other people, these images in our heads of what things should be or how things should unfold, and all of these come to unravel in the present. And so, kind of tying back to the second one, being self-aware of how our past is influencing our current present way of being. This is kind of a psychoanalytic, maybe Freudian sort of aspect. Maybe not necessarily Freudian, but definitely psychoanalytic. Number four, transformational relationships. And so relationships have the power to heal. They have the power to change us for the better. They have the power to enrich our lives. And so the connection between yourself and others is dynamic and forever changing. And again, taking advantage of the aspect that things are changing, things are evolving within your relationships. People are developing, people are hitting different life cycles. Learning to ride that wave can truly enrich your life and provide you some of those natural supports, which I believe is crucial for mental health. Number five is emotions as signals. And so our emotions provide valuable information about our needs and our values and our judgments. I think people kind of get lost in the sauce with emotions and they don't actually stop and analyze, well, wait, what are these emotions actually saying? They're generally, emotions are symptoms of a deeper problem. And so learning to understand and to respond to emotional signals is crucial for our own regulation and then ultimately our well-being. Because if we can harness our emotions, we can start to learn how to develop and cultivate positive emotion within ourselves. Super important principle. Number six is cognitive influence. And so this one pertains to our thoughts construct our perception of reality. And so the way we interpret events and situations shapes our emotional responses and actions. And so this is very much a kind of REBT, rational emotive, CBT idea that it's not necessarily the situations that cause our emotions, but really it's the way we are interpreting these situations and these events that that shapes our emotions. And so learning how to challenge when our perceptions of reality are either become irrational, become extreme, rigid, that can help in regulating our emotions. So number 7 is behavioral intentionality. And so behaviors are not random. And this is an important one. I think people overlook this principle often, especially with children. And so behaviors serve an intent and purpose, often as a strategy to cope with challenges or to fulfill unmet needs. Rarely are behaviors kind of absolutely pointless. And when you think about, people say, oh yeah, I always go out, hit a cigarette there. It's just, just kind of mindless. I do it. When you really kind of boil those down, usually that's actually, something like that comes from a lack of emotional coping skill, and that's what's fulfilling that need. And so learning how to decode what behaviors are saying, because behaviors are ultimately a language, and so they play a huge part in reality, in constructing our reality. Number 8 is considering holistically. And so every aspect of a person's life, including their physical health, their genetics, all the way up to their spiritual and religious beliefs, their mental state, their environment, is all interconnected, and it's significant to their overall well-being. What this principle comes down to is that we can't ignore certain aspects of existence. We can't ignore the fact that we're sort of thrown into existence. We're not necessarily chosen to be born per se. We don't choose to step up to the plate and come into being, but here we are. It also considers practical aspects such as financial needs, shelter, clothing, food, physical exercise, movement, camaraderie, cooperation, friendship, love, family. All of these things play into ultimately what our behaviors manifest to be. Number 9 is skill development. And so building new skills, this is like one of my favorite principles, because you can kind of think of it as everything is like a skill tree, right? You can kind of, whether that be you get really, really good at drinking alcohol, you max out that skill, or you get really, really good at playing guitar, or you get really, really good at learning how to cooperate with other people, or you get really, really good at, whatever it is. Skill developments are kind of like the different levers we can pull within our life to ultimately cope with challenges, find purpose and meaning, regulate our emotions, and ultimately live a sense of a fulfilled life. And so skill development it's a fundamental goal that everybody should strive for, to facilitate not only coping but necessarily adaptation, thriving, and building. The final principle we have is resilience building. And so really, resilience is the ability to bounce back from adversity. Simply put, resilience can be developed and strengthened by a myriad of different ways, and this can be different from person to person. It's a quality that enables individuals to navigate through life's ups and downs with greater ease. It's an important aspect to our being, because life is always churning out different adversity situations, pressure, trauma, whatever you might think. And so being able to bounce back into center yourself throughout those ongoing trials and tribulations is essential to our psychological health. And so that will do it for today. I thank you guys for watching. Again, my name is Spencer Thorne with the Mind Alliance. If you like today's video, please like and subscribe, and I will catch you on the next one.